So tags are a great way to organize books in Libby or keep track of books that you maybe want to read in the future. This is one of the differences between the Overdrive app and the Libby app. That's a question we get a lot. So in the Overdrive app, you have a wish list and you have a history. Whereas Libby's tagging system is really robust. You can create as many tags as you'd like, and they can be named whatever you'd like. So you're not limited to just two lists. You can create as many as you want. So I'm going to scroll down just a tiny bit here. Next to the book here, you'll see the option to tag. I'm going to tap on tag here to show you what that looks like. So when you want to tag a title, once you tap on tag, you will have a menu pop up in the bottom of the screen. This will allow you to create a new tag or add this title to a book that you or a tag that you've already created. So up at the top here, you can see I have some regular tags. Regular tags are just tags that I created without any special abilities. They just categorize the book for whatever I named it. So I named this to be read to keep track of a wish list, if you will. And then I also have a little tag here to keep track of cookbooks that have recipes that I really like inside. So these don't have any special abilities. They just organize the books. Smart tags, on the other hand, have special abilities, and you can see there are two smart tags here. This first smart tag is a borrowed smart tag, and it's a little receipt. It's a little emoji of a receipt. And that's like if you were to go to the physical library and check out, they might hand you a receipt as you're checking out at the counter there. So that's what this is. So anytime you borrow a book in Libby, Libby is going to automatically tag it with that little red receipt. That's so you can keep track of all the books you've borrowed in the past. Right underneath that is a notify me smart tag. And what's really nice about that is the first time you borrow a magazine, Libby's going to prompt you to set up your notify me tag. So you can create it and name it whatever you want. You can see I named mine generic magazines. And then every time you borrow a magazine after you create that notify me tag, Libby's going to ask you if you want to add that magazine to the list. Any magazine that you add to your notify me tag is going to alert you of new issues that come out in your library's digital collection. So if you tag the New Yorker, anytime a new issue of the New Yorker comes into your library's digital collection, you'll get a notification. So that's what that smart tag does. And that is prompted the first time you borrow a magazine. So you'll be able to create that. So that's the difference between smart tags and regular tags there. Let's go ahead and create a new tag here. So I'm going to tap on new tag to show you that process. And right now we're looking at mystery books. So let's just say I have to be in a particular mood to read mystery titles. I'm not in that mood right now, but I think this book sounds interesting, so I want to save it for later. I'm just going to type in mystery here and then tap on done. And now you can see that tag has attached itself to that book. So one thing I really like about tags showing up in the searches is we're searching right still for this book for me and my mom to listen to on our way to Dollywood. If I'm working my way through this list, I can see, oh, I had this on my wish list. I should just go ahead and borrow that since I already know I want to read it. Alternatively, oh, I've already borrowed this book in the past, so I can just go ahead and skip it in this list and move on without having to read its title details. Or if you're like me, read the first 50 pages of it before I realize that I've already read it before. So that is a really nice little option there to make sure that you're in your searches, you can see those lists. Now, that is how you can tag a title from your searches. I'm going to come down to my bookshelf and show you where you can find your tagged lists and how you can export those out of the app for printing or emailing. So I'm going to tap on my bookshelf here. And I'm just going to give it a double tap so it drags me back up to the top. So up at the top of my shelf, you can see I have my loans and my holds, But then I have my tags starting to be listed right after that. If you tap on more, this is going to show you a full list of your tags. And you can tap on any of these tags to view that entire list. So let's jump into my wish list here. So in your tag lists, one thing I always like to point out is this little library card icon. Sometimes it'll be a calendar if the book is on hold. If you tap on that, this is going to allow you to either borrow the title or place a hold straight from this screen without having to go and view the title details or go to another page. You can just go ahead and borrow it straight away. But more importantly, I like to show off right underneath that, if you have multiple library cards attached to Libby, you can see how many copies of that title the library owns and has available. So you can see I have one copies available at both of my libraries. This is just a really nice feature. If you're maybe finding a book on your wish list that has a hold at one library, you can tap on that icon and see if it's available at a different library instead of placing a hold. So I always like to point that tip out here. I'm going to tap above that menu to drop that out of the way. The other thing I like to talk about here is this actions button. So at the top of your tag lists, go ahead and tap on actions. This will give you the ability to rename your tag or delete it. Some people don't want that borrowed tag auto tagging their borrowed books. You feel free to delete that if you don't want it. But I always like to show off exporting. So if you tap on export tag, this will give you 3 different options for how to export that tag. Like magazines, you're going to find what works best for you as you play around. I particularly like the table option. I'm going to go ahead and tap on table. This is going to bring us to our data export page. So you can see up here, we're data exporting this tag. If you come over to the top right-hand corner there and tap on the share button, that is going to give you the option to send this tag out in a text message or an email. You could also scroll down and tap on print if you want to print this list out to take it with you on the go. So that is tip number 4, tagging titles.